Welcome to WKRP Montrose, a radio station masquerading as a podcast about Montrose, Colorado and the Western Slope, recording live from the Clear Network studio in downtown Montrose, Colorado. Welcome, Montrose. Good morning, Montrose.
No. Don't change it up.
No, I am changing it up. I'm in a good mood this morning, and so I know that you're ready to ruin it. So if you want to go ahead and ruin it, do it now. I can immediately get back to being in a good mood.
Stop changing up the intro.
I'm just saying. Are you gonna do it or not?
I tried.
No. Okay, good. Well, we don't have to address the.
Why are you in a good mood?
I don't know. I shouldn't be in a good mood. My team lost last night, so.
I forgot to check that.
But I am in a good mood.
Hey, guess what? I'm in a good mood now.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh my God, that means your crappy Steelers are out.
That does mean that and they got their butts kicked last night too. It wasn't hilarious. It was horrible.
Fantastic. Well,
but it is a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
You're in Broncos country anyway. Buddy.
Yeah. Well,
you don't like it, go back to Pittsburgh or wherever.
Well, I'll make some real enemies now. We'll see how this is going to go down with Bills Mafia.
Yeah, what about them?
And the Broncos. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not sure if we're ready yet. But
who's we?
We'll see. The Broncos.
Who's we?
All right. Listen, you guys are in for a treat today because we're going to talk filmmaking. We have a bona fide professional in the studio.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of embarrassing for us, to be honest.
A little bit. But I probably no reason in postponing it any longer.
Yeah.
Correctly, except for we'll make them wait for one more minute. To thank our lovely sponsors.
Oh, yeah.
Clear Networks. Without you guys. Yeah. Rob's in full garb today.
Check it out.
Got the sweatshirt, got the cup.
I got the wrong hat on, but.
Right. We'll talk about them coming up soon.
Yeah.
We need to thank them real quick. We got a chance to go into their new restaurant on Main Street, sit down with their chef, Nate.
Miss So.
Yeah.
Miss So.
Right.
2 words.
Yeah. Got
Not
it.
miso, like you've been saying.
Miso. Yeah.
It's very
miso
good.
hungry.
We'll talk about it later. Let's not go down that road.
I thought that was like a saying that they had.
It's a saying that you shouldn't say.
Oh, well, I thought it was like on the menu or something.
No, it's not on the menu.
Okay.
Can you introduce Greg, please? I'm tired of talking to you.
Okay. Well, like I said, you guys should be excited. We have a bona fide filmmaker in the studio today. Greg Cairns. Cairns? Did I pronounce the last name right?
Yeah, you got it right.
Okay. Sweet.
Do you know how you can tell Greg's a professional? If you go to his website, the photos are in black and white. You can tell. It's so slick.
That's a prerequisite for having a professional website is putting the photos in black and white.
I mean, it looks professional, but
someone told me I had to do that. So.
Yeah. So Greg is also kind of a special guest because we didn't invite Greg on the podcast.
Well, you're not supposed to tell people that.
Greg invited himself.
Well, that just goes to show how shallow our talent department is in finding talented people in Montrose. You know, one of us is supposed to be responsible in booking the guests to come on and finding really interesting people. This is how bad he is at his job. The interesting person had to find us.
No, Lazy Bones over there just put a direct link to our booking calendar out for the general great unwashed public.
I did.
Luckily, nobody else has found it, and they won't now because I've deleted it.
And look what turned up, which is amazing.
So I have the link still, if anybody wants it, I have the.
You have the link.
Yeah,
there you go. That's right.
No,
you can circulate it around because one of these kids is not doing his own thing. He's not doing his job. All right. Well, Greg, you're not from Montrose, are you?
No.
Okay. Where are you from originally?
Originally Chicago, and then Vermont, and then Minnesota, and Durango. Went to Fort Lewis. I finished at Fort Lewis.
Okay.
And then I lived in Bozeman, Montana for 8 years, and been here for 2 years.
Well, now I got to change my history because I had Montana State. That is where you went, and I was going to go Bobcats, but
no,
Fort Lewis,
I've done
right
some
down the
work
road.
for Montana State.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So you kind of went around. You went Chicago. You went that way for a bit. Then you came back. Then you went down. So, but what's important to us, I think, is the last leg of Durango to Montrose. How did you get here? Not literally, of course. But.
And how did we steal you out of Durango?
Yeah.
Well, between those was Bozeman.
Okay. Oh, Bozeman. Sorry. Yeah.
Not a bad place.
No,
It's pretty.
It's a great place.
We're better.
It's changing quickly, but
Yeah. I got a quick question about that. A friend of mine went there, almost got into a fight because she's a troublemaker. But she was telling me about this term, all the Bozeman Barbies. Is that a thing?
I have not heard that one.
Oh,
But
yeah.
there's a lot of terms the locals use.
And he's not volunteering any of them.
I'm sure you can imagine what they are. Apparently, it's just wealthier women.
You mean the people that
around Bozeman,
like the people up in Telluride that wear high heels, men and women, on the ice crossing Main Street?
Yes.
With
I love the term Bozeman Barbies. I think that's great.
It's like that. It's like that up there.
Yeah.
There's a Instagram channel called Hipsters of Bozeman.
Yeah.
And
Oh, really?
If you want to see that, you can just go on there. Yeah.
But I guess if you live there, do you tend to not associate is not the right word, but you have your part of Bozeman, you don't really go to the same kinds of places as those people, or do you have to? Can you not avoid the people that you might want to avoid?
Is that part of the change that's happening up there?
I think we avoided most of those places.
Yeah.
And a lot of it that stays up in Big Sky.
Right.
Thankfully.
So it's kind of like there's a couple of different Bozemans. I guess Telluride's similar, right? If you're a long-term local up there, you maybe don't do certain things, go certain places at certain times.
If you're smart and you know when the times to get out of town are, and you know kind of where to go high. Well, the I don't know if Bozeman had this, but there used to be a rule up in Telluride. If you didn't want to talk to people, like if you were actually busy and had something to do, you went down Main Street. But if you went down the alleyways, like it was kind of expected that you were open to stopping and talking and
The stop and chat.
Yeah, the stop and chat.
Okay, that's a good one.
But
Can we have that rule in supermarkets? I would love that. If you're in a certain aisle, I'm not interested in talking to you. I avoid close friends at all
so
costs.
just certain aisles?
Well, I don't know. However, we can work
Or a
it
grocery
out.
store in general.
We should come up with a rule.
Okay.
If you have a cart or a basket, it means something different. Because I don't want to talk to people when I'm in the store, even close friends. I avoid them at all costs. But
You didn't think that one all the way through because you don't know what the rule is. All right, listen.
Yeah,
first and foremost,
it's not about you, Dan. It's just about Greg.
And it's not about you either. Yeah, we're missing out on the guest. So the reason that I wanted to talk to you is you've got multiple documentaries that have all been accepted at multiple film festivals all over the country. I've got Out There was the best short film at Durango Film Festival, accepted at several film festivals, including Flagstaff's Film Festival. Driving Sweep, which I want to talk to you about, because that one really was interesting, and The Wild Bunch were the ones that I picked out. Now, that being said, on your Vimeo channel, you have 77 films on Vimeo. So this, like, you're full blown into this with your production company.
Yeah.
And you've got a team of 5 on your production company, or 4?
It's they're all remote now.
Okay.
When I was in Bozeman, they were all working there with me.
Okay.
But we've all kind of gone our separate ways, but still work together remotely.
All right. And now, have they been involved in all of these documentaries that you've done?
No, not all of them. Some of them, there was some of them.
Were some of these like solo ventures of your own, that you're doing the whole thing?
Most of what I do is usually solo.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. So the team is kind of post-production.
Yeah.
All right.
It depends on the project. Sometimes I hire Alara to do my pre-production. And sometimes I hire to do like a rough edit, which I find is really helpful for editing. And then they all kind of fill in a different, depends on the project. They're so varied.
So let's talk about Out There first. Yeah. I didn't get a chance to view this one because I really I dove into Driving Sweep a little bit deeper, but tell me about Out There.
Out There was a short film that backcountry.com originally hired me and a friend for. And that takes place at the Mount Zimmer hut in by Cook City in southern Montana. And they hired us without really knowing what we were going to make. And I didn't tell them what I was going to make. And I hadn't done anything like that. It was backcountry skiing. So the 3 films you mentioned are all branded adventure short films, I would say. There's other things I do, conservation documentaries, and I do some commercial work as well. But that particular one was a branded short film. And I just made, that winter was the first winter I was in Bozeman, and I found it kind of difficult, long winter, not really knowing anybody. And so I spent a lot of time like on my computer inside trying to figure out what to do with myself. And that project came along, and we went up to Cook City, rode snowmobiles into the hut, and was just kind of blown away by the whole experience right at the edge of the wilderness there. And so I made a short film kind of reminding myself about the value of just like going outside, even just for a day, how important that is sometimes, especially like when you don't want to.
When you don't want to go outside, when it's too cold.
Well, and when you have the opportunity to, like when you live in a place like Bozeman or Montana or Colorado, like it seems it's a waste to stay inside all the time when we have such amazing things to do. So, I mean, it is good to be reminded every now and again that if you can get out there, you should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm in a better place now than I was that winter. Like I go outside every day almost, and I have a manic herding dog that requires that as well.
Ah, right.
But sometimes for a lot of people, like it's kind of, you just gotta motivate to get outside.
Get motivated to get outside. Well, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people still are working on changing their behaviors from even 6 years later from COVID, of just like, remote work and being inside all the time. And, it's like once you form a habit, you've got to undo that habit. And that's usually difficult. Now you said something really interesting. You said this project just kind of came along. It just kind of happened. For me, every story that I've heard and every experience that I've had in trying to create content that's on a longer format, it didn't just happen. There was a lot that actually had to like go into either getting somebody interested in getting the project made, getting the people, to actually participate in it.
And you got to put yourself, I mean, I think you're being modest, right? You're putting yourself in a position where, I mean, they don't just call anybody. You had a reputation at that point where you could get that call.
Yeah, it was a 4-minute film. Like it's not a like Pronghorn Passage, which I just made for National Wildlife Federation. That's a 40-minute film.
Right.
And it's a multi-year project.
Right.
This was like 3 nights in the backcountry. And it turned out being 4 minutes.
How long, just give everyone an idea though, from that call, let's say, how long does it take to complete a project that is 4 minutes on screen with all the pre and post production?
That was probably 3 or 4 weeks work.
I mean, I think it's, I don't know if people think about it generally, but I mean, it's a lot of work to go into what ends up compressing down to 4 minutes.
Yeah. And since then, that was maybe 2010, 2012. That kind of that idea has just gotten more intense, that like you have to spend less time on things now.
Right.
Just because there's so much content out there,
right,
that you have to be really efficient about it. And I wish I could spend, some projects do take years,
right,
but I wish I could spend years making every one.
Do you prefer longer form, 40 minutes feature film length, or do you quite like making short films, really short?
I think I like making both.
Yeah.
I think they both satisfy different parts of my creative side.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels like a 4-minute film just doesn't say enough, and you need more time to really say something that matters. And sometimes it's just so nice to just get stuff done.
Right.
Like sometimes I'm jealous of musicians who can just go play a show, even just like at a local bar or wherever.
Right.
And they have that outlet. Whereas sometimes I just don't release anything for 6 months.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I doing?
Well, you get that. I mean, you get that sense of, it's a very cathartic feeling. It's like, I get it when you finish reading a book, right? That last page and you close it, and there's a real sense of finality, but completion to those kinds of things. So I guess, you can get that feeling a little quicker with a 4-minute film, but multi-year projects.
Yeah, they take time, and it's just so drawn out.
So when you do a project for somebody like the you said the National Forestry Service or the National Wildlife Federation? Okay. When you do that, or Patagonia was listed on your website as well, when you do something for either a major brand or an organization and it's finally out, actually driving sweep, NRS it was for their YouTube channel, right?
Yeah.
When you do something like that, how important is it once you're done with it and you give it to the client or whatever, to make sure that it's seen? Like I see a lot of stuff that gets, great content that gets created, and I feel like it doesn't get the visibility that it deserves. how did, like, from your standpoint, from the artist's standpoint, like, how important is that to you to make sure that people see it? I mean, I know it's got to be important to the brands, right?
Yeah, they're putting up the money for it,
right?
So there's a lot of trust in me usually it's the marketing director to try and throughout the process, just bring up the idea of like, who's the audience, how are people going to see this,
right?
Because it's my kind of thing, and they're paying for it, but sometimes they have 20 other films that they're paying for the year, so it's just one of the things for them. So trust is really important in that. Usually, like, I just don't have the time, and they're not paying me to do all this work on the back end,
right?
To make sure that's part of it. And so I try and front load that to them, like a new film for NRS called Patso. It's my film after Driving Sweep. That's going to be at Wild and Scenic Film Festival this year, in just a few months. Next month,
did they broker that, or did you?
I pitched the idea of the film to them, and then they paid for it. And then,
but the festivals,
usually I do that.
You do that.
Yeah.
You submit the films to the film festivals.
Yeah. That's kind of on my side of the marketing campaign.
Do they cover that cost? I mean, there's a cost to enter almost all of these festivals, I assume, right?
Sometimes they do.
Yeah.
Once you do it enough and you get in some festivals, then you can usually get submissions for free.
Right. And I guess the thing is, for you, it's the back end stuff, even though you're not necessarily paid for it, it is putting yourself in the shop window, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you want to get a job, the next job when that comes along, it might be because somebody saw your film at a festival.
Yeah.
So it's kind of in everyone's interest, right?
I've gotten several recent projects from meeting marketing directors at festivals, really just in the outdoor brand space.
Yeah.
Because some of them go to those festivals and try and meet creators. And
is that something you always look forward to, or is it, and sometimes a chore to be like, it's been entered into this festival, and the festival have said yes, but I'm really busy and I don't know if I can take the time to fly across the country, but I kind of have to.
It's on me to decide when it's worth it or not.
Yeah.
There was a few years when I went to most of the festivals just because it was new to me.
Right.
And I've since backed away from going to most of them because
well, there's a lot, right?
I was going to say, when you say most of them, what does that mean? Because the Telluride, Banff,
I mean, it must be.
I'm spacing the one in Italy.
You named two.
No, what's the one in
Cannes?
That's not in Italy, but close.
Where is it at?
Good job. It's in France.
France.
But, close enough.
Milan.
Right?
Where's Milan?
Milan's in Italy.
Yeah.
You are digging yourself into a geographic hole, buddy.
Am I? I don't know.
So, but there are a lot, right? Yeah. There's a lot of these festivals. And so I guess it must be exhausting, or at least it was those first few years when you're like, you got to be bopping around all over the place.
Yeah. And I went to a lot for Driving Sweep, especially to Banff and to 5 Point Film Festival, and Carbondale is a huge one for outdoor work.
Yep.
But there's Kendall Mountain Film Festival in England. There's Fort William in Scotland. Flagstaff Mountain Film Festival. I usually have a film in Durango, so sometimes I go down there. I go down there actually a lot because it's close.
Yeah.
I mean, but it would make sense if it was like Flagstaff, Carbondale, Telluride from Mountain Film Festival. That feels like a geographic area.
Oh, that would be lovely to have that choice.
You could just do that. But if you're going to go to Banff and then Scotland, those aren't exactly close.
Yeah. But I'm guessing it's, when they're on, when you decide to go, it would be great if you could just do a few days, a few festivals done. But I mean, I'm guessing that's not the case. And
it's just not financially worth it usually. Like I'm going to Wild and Scenic this year because I have 2 films there this year. And my brother lives out there, so that makes it a good experience.
I wanted to ask, well, first of all, how long have you been doing this professionally?
Professionally since 2013.
All right, so 13 years or so. Is it, I guess, financially viable is what I was going to say, but I mean, is it easy? Not easy. Do you make a living? Are you content with the living?
I make a living now.
Right.
Yes.
After how many years?
I'd say after 4 or 5 years. The first 4 or 5 years, 2013 to on, I was also guiding on the Middle Fork of the Salmon in the summer.
Right.
Which helped kind of cushion the rest of the winter so I could have more flexibility in my schedule and be able to do film work.
How difficult was that to balance that life, knowing that this is something I want to do and I have to do it. It's a passion and you're going to be a filmmaker, and one day you might not actually have to have a second job.
I think it was difficult for a while. I remember my dad being like, "Are you going to get a job soon?"
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a great idea.
Right.
And, after college and if you're in the guiding space, like people are used to not having much money.
Right.
And that sometimes is like glorified, or people applaud it almost in the outdoor industry.
Right. You kind of got to earn your stripes in that respect too, right? You got to earn a little respect by sticking with it.
Yeah.
Do you remember the moment? Was there a particular moment or a film or a commission or even a time when you said, you know what, I'm not going to guide this year because I don't need to. I'm going to focus on filmmaking.
It was gradual for me.
Yeah.
It was gradual over the last 10 years. I do remember the summer that I decided I wasn't gonna guide.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a big deal. I was getting a lot of commercial work in Bozeman and kind of regionally.
Yeah.
And there was enough where going to guide would have, net lost me money.
Right.
And if you'd had a few employees at that point, then it was just like too much to try and manage both.
Right. Do you ever have that fear of sliding back? Maybe the commissions stop coming in so frequently, and
sometimes moving actually down here was a challenge, and I knew that was going to happen because the adventure films and the documentaries are more fun, and people know that stuff more. But most of my commercial work people don't know about because it's posted somewhere else, and no one knows I posted it, and I can't really share much about it.
Right.
But I knew most of that was probably going to dry up, at least temporarily, when I moved down here. There's just so much marketing money and investment money in Bozeman and in Montana right now that it's kind of wild how much money's there.
So I guess that leads.
Well, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Why? I think if people were thinking like, hey, I was going to be a documentary filmmaker, or I was going to be a filmmaker, period, I would choose a different market, New York, California, Texas, where there's a lot of money and there's a lot of opportunity for, being around projects where things are being developed and made. We don't get it wrong. We've got films being made out here, big commercial films that have been made out in Telluride in the area, and certainly we have the Telluride Film Festival, and we have attachments to that side of the industry. But I don't think, like you said, people think of this area as like where people are to get things produced and made.
Let's just put it this way. I'm sure when you announced that you were moving from Bozeman to Montrose, people went, where, why, and what? But can you tell us why? How did this come about? Why Bozeman to Montrose?
For one, I knew that things were going to dry up, at least with the commercial work. And I'm okay with that. I think there's always this pull to like go to LA or New York, but I've just never wanted to make that big a sacrifice for my life. I just enjoy being outside in the mountains and in the desert too much to go there. Yeah. I feel like growing up in Chicago, I kind of know what that's like, and I don't want that.
Right.
And then you hear all these stories from people in LA, like just struggling for years and years and years. And it just sounds so bad.
Yeah. It sounds terrible.
It just doesn't seem worth the risk.
No.
Right.
For myself to do that. Why Montrose? A lot of little reasons, I guess. I think my wife isn't that into winter. She grew up in Los Alamos, for one, which matters. We had an exceptionally good rental situation in Bozeman, in a little canyon and a little cabin that whole time that we couldn't leave. It was too good.
Right.
And then she got into nursing school. We had to move. And then I didn't want to move back to Bozeman and rent again. And we couldn't afford a house there. Right. So, that was that was off the table. So her family lives in New Mexico. Since I lived in Durango, I had a lot of friends there. We like it down here.
Right.
We were looking in Durango, but just too expensive.
Yeah.
I wanted to live somewhere where I felt like I was a member of society rather than just like an underclass,
Right.
And just,
I like how you dipped your voice there.
Yeah. And Montrose, I had a friend who lived here who's a river person. He's a Grand Canyon dory guide now. Spoon. I don't know if you ever run into him. He's a good guy.
Spoon? Friend of the show.
Stephen Witherspoon.
Spoon's coming on the show for sure.
He's a good character.
Any one name people should have to come on the show. Right.
Cher, Bono, Spoon. All welcome. Yeah. Does he still live here now?
He does live here. Right now, though, he's guiding on the Fuda Lafu in Chile for the winter.
Okay.
Yeah.
We definitely got to get him on when he gets back.
So Montrose filled this. Milder winters. The mountains, the San Juans is there, Durango's there, New Mexico's not far away. So it kind of like ticked a lot of the boxes.
Affordable, still, relatively affordable.
Don't have to be underclass. you can be part of regular society here.
Yeah.
Well, do we have to be real and give credit where maybe I don't want to give credit due? Is a large part of it that there was a job for the wife at the hospital here, or?
Not really, because she's a nurse, so she can get a job almost anywhere.
Right. Sure.
Yeah.
The river is a big deal here. Having the river in town that's reliable. I'm a river person. I surf on the river.
Right. Yeah.
The amount of public land and easy access here is pretty incredible. I used to just drive through when I lived in Durango. I'd drive through Montrose and be like, this place kind of sucks. There's just this one road.
That's fair enough. If you're only going down Townsend, right? Or 50, is it 50? 550?
50 to, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that I don't think you're alone in that. I think a lot of people drive through Montrose and, because that's the only part that they see.
And now I'm not one of those, I'm not a gatekeeper, but I mean, there's plenty of people who are like, good, keep driving.
Right.
That's good. Fine.
I'm not one of those people. So if you had to, that being said, if you had to tell somebody you've got to take one turn off of Townsend to see what Montrose looks like, where would you tell them to turn?
I'd tell them to turn it, go to River Bottom Park.
Yeah.
Okay.
The river park.
It's great, isn't it? I really do think it's quite special. The river itself is great. But the surf park is really, it's kind of special. And in the summer, I'm sure you can attest to this, that we get people from all over the state and further maybe come here in their vans and camp out and just surf all day. It's so amazing that we have that.
Well, that was a good segue. I'm going to stop you there because I want to show part of, I've got the opening. I'm assuming it's okay that I show the opening to Driving Sweep because I thought this was really cool. And it was a part of river guiding and touring that I had really not thought about. So we'll take a second real quick and I'll show you guys the opening to Driving Sweep. So here we go. All right. So if those of you who are only listening to the podcast, what I just showed you was a young woman on a very large raft with 2 oars navigating some rapids down there with a lot of weight and items in this raft, but one person standing on a deck with 2 oars navigating the rapids, and then the rest of the crew that's, along for the trip, congratulating her as she made it through that run. So tell us a bit what Driving Sweep is and what we just, more than my description, what we just saw.
Yeah, Driving Sweep is a short film about a young woman named Katie Vitetto, who is in the process of learning how to drive a sweep boat. And a sweep boat's a 23-foot, 24-foot large cargo raft with sweep arms on the front and the back. So it's old style, originated from sweep scows, wooden sweep scows in Idaho to move cargo downstream, mining equipment, industrial equipment. And now it's used primarily, pretty much only for commercial rafting on the Middle Fork of the Salmon. Pretty much that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of weight on that boat that she's steering.
Yeah. So just the rubber weighs 500 pounds. We know this because we've put it in airplanes before to fly to the river, and you have to weigh it.
Yeah, that costs. That's not.
That doesn't include any of the equipment and the things that are piled into the bed, just the rubber.
Yep.
There was one of the things I thought was really interesting in the opening of the film, talking about this person goes ahead of the team, not only because they're going to set up camp where they're eventually getting to, but because of that weight, that boat moves fast down the river.
That's right. Yeah, so you could think of it as like the river's ball bearings or snow or something like that. And the more weight you put in it, the faster that thing's going to go.
Right.
Because friction affects it less, the heavier it is.
So these people, how far ahead? They're out on their own, essentially then.
Yeah. Sometimes you run into other groups.
Right.
So it is in the wilderness, but there are other groups on the river.
Right.
And some days you don't see anyone. You're just in this kind of bubble where no one is. But they'll push off in the morning, 9 o'clock, and they won't stop usually until you get to camp. 10 miles downriver.
And they have a lot of responsibility then too, because all the supplies and stuff on that boat are kind of critical to the trip.
Yes. They're 30-person trips often, 5 or 6 guides plus, fill in the rest with clients, and all of the overnight bags for the clients, all the sleeping bags, all their non-day clothing, everything that they have is in
that boat.
The whole kitchen, pretty much the whole kitchen, all the groovers, and it's hard to get across, but most of that stuff we don't tie down, just because it's just kind of a nightmare, and it takes way too long to try and snake all that stuff and tie everything down. So you don't tie it down.
So you rely on the
you don't flip it.
Yeah, you don't flip it. Yeah, you rely on the skills of the I mean, what would you call these people?
Sweep drivers.
Sweep driver. You rely on them. They're critical to these trips.
Yeah. So
she was new.
She was new.
Learning.
She had day guided, paddle boated on other rivers, and this was her 2nd or 3rd season on the Middle Fork.
Right.
And it does take that much time to learn all the rocks in the river, and all the rapids. And you can't do them over. You can't go back upstream and be like, I'm going to
try that again.
I'm going to go in a different place here.
Wow.
There's no oars, so you can't stop. So some of these rapids, like, you have to line up way ahead of time.
Yeah.
In that boat to know where you're going to end up.
Yeah.
It's a very visual thing. You need to go watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
You also need to hear about all the things that can happen, injuries that you wouldn't expect, type of thing that can happen from steering this boat. It really captivated me. And how long is the film in total? I didn't even look. I watched the whole thing, but 9
minutes.
9 minutes. Yeah.
That is coincidentally the length of Dennis's attention span.
It might be. It might be.
That was fortunate.
Well, hold on.
What else is on your list?
I've got some stuff on my list, and we don't have that much time. I know. You keep talking. Nobody wants to hear you talk.
That's the point.
All right. We have a few hours here.
No. So my question is, if I had to give you, I'm going to give you some titles, and you tell me which one you most identify with.
Okay.
All right. So, river guide, adventure journalist, environmentalist, space nerd, or movie or music video director.
Say them again. There's too many.
I'll narrow it down.
Okay.
Space nerd or music video director?
I would say space nerd is more accurate.
Is it though? Is it really? Because I want to play.
I'm always a space nerd. I'm not always a music video director.
Well, I want to say that you might have a future in it. So can I play your music video?
Which one?
Directorial debut, I think maybe, or is it?
Which one?
The one that caught my eye is "Where Dem Duckies At."
Oh yeah. So that's a.
I didn't know he was doing this.
That's a very different thing than I usually do. But sure, you can.
Let's just see a few seconds of "Where Dem Duckies At." Yeah. Here we go. Hold on a second.
Brussels sprouts, and my plate's good. The answer is Maganza. If the question's what the rate's good. Where them duckies at? Where them duckies at? Where them duckies at? Where them duckies at?
All right. So tell me where that came from. Where
He's
them duckies
very
at?
proud of himself for finding that.
Hey, you guys, those of you who are watching on YouTube, you appreciated that. Come on. You know you did. Make sure you give it a thumbs up right there at that point, and go check out the full video on your own. Where them duckies at?
You did your homework, because I did. That's not one of the videos I sent you.
Thanks.
So that video was a song by my friend Colin. He's a conservation biologist in Montana, and he does weird, kind of wonderful songs like that. He just makes them up and doesn't really share them with anyone. And somehow someone at Meat Eater found that, and they played it on one of their episodes.
Really?
Yep. And he doesn't make any money on it. He just likes making it in his spare time. And so I was up there working on this pronghorn film, staying at his house. And one morning, it was a nice morning. I had a couple hours, so we went out duck hunting, and I was like, I think we should make a music video out of this. It's a great music video.
It's definitely good. You should go check it out for sure. I didn't give it its full glory. I just chose a section of it that I thought was really good. All right, Rob, you had some other questions.
Well, Meat Eater TV on Reddit.
Yeah. I don't remember what episode, but it's on there.
Is where I found it. I just we'll talk briefly about what you've got coming up. And you're into river surfing in the river. Can we expect to see anything about this area, whether it's where them duckies at type, guerrilla film or something a little more commercial?
In this area, I have a bighorn sheep film. I can't really talk about much about it. There's some political sensitivities to it, so we're still figuring out what it should be. But I'm working with a organization on a film that they want made for them. Okay. That's one. River surfing, I'm looking for the right story. Right. I think it's a really neat little package focused story, but I'm just looking for the right character. Yeah. Mostly for that. I'm down there every day and it's just so pretty down there. Mm-hmm. So that's probably going to be one. I don't know when. Yeah. I'm just waiting for that. Yeah. Right now that's it in this area, I think. But you're working on other projects and still doing some commercial stuff. Yep. Yeah. I know. I'll help people locally if they need help with films. I shot a day for Black Canyon Golf Course. Yeah. A few months ago, just because they needed someone to do some drone work for them and things like that. I enjoy that. It's tangible. It gets me out of the office and it's good practice with the cameras. All right. Well, we have.
Can we do a mockumentary on public golf tournaments and how people cheat on them?
That'd be great.
What, are you thinking of anyone in particular?
I'm just saying. Yes. I mean, since you already got some footage of the Black Canyon, I feel like we have several golf tournaments in the summer here.
Do you have access?
I could probably arrange something. Yeah.
Let's do it guerrilla style.
We need the cheaters.
The cheaters don't want to be caught. Yeah. So we'll have to mic people up, and this is a fun idea. Let's out members of the community. Well, I think we should golf.
Yeah, I think it would have to be more in the style. Have you seen have you seen any of the memes where young women are talking to their dads and they're like describing characteristics of young men? Yeah, and great. Whether they're a red flag or a green flag, right.
And it's the dad.
It's all characteristics of the dad.
Yeah. They're all red flags in this new boyfriend. You go, actually, I'm talking about you.
Yeah. So I feel like if we went with that style towards the golfers, should you do, and then
get them on camera saying all these things are bad and then film them cheating and doing all these things. Dropping,
yeah. I don't know what we call it, but
sure.
We call it bad birdies or something like that. Or, I don't know. We'll come up with something. That'd be fun.
God, he's thought about this. That's why.
A little bit.
So, just to kind of round out a little bit, are you enjoying your time here? Have you enjoyed the first? You said 2 years you've been here, right?
Yeah, that's right. We love it here.
Yeah.
How do we keep you here? How do we make sure you this wandering eye for filmmaking doesn't go be enamored by someplace else?
What if Hollywood comes calling? Because what's the ultimate goal as a filmmaker for you? Is it to earn a good living by making these kinds of films, or if a feature film came up, is that something you'd be interested in?
Yes, I would be interested in that. I don't expect that. I just think if you do it long enough, you shouldn't expect things. Right. You just kind of have to take the wins when you get them. I don't imagine I would leave. I think I would leave temporarily to go work on a project and then come back. The dude lives in Montana.
Right.
That's how he makes it work. For his sanity.
Right. And I guess a lot of people are like that too. Yeah. They don't, when you get to a certain point, you don't have to live in downtown LA anymore. You live wherever you want to live and you travel for work. So for the foreseeable future, we can expect to see you around as a local.
Yeah. You've been to all these amazing film festivals. We have an amazing resource right across the street over there with the theater that we have, and especially the Penthouse.
Is it for sale still?
Yeah, I think it is. Why, you want to buy it?
I'd love to.
Let's figure out a plan.
2 million, I think.
So 2 questions.
We should talk about this.
2 questions. I've always thought before the Rathbone became the Rathbone, I thought it would be amazing to have that be like a working studio for filmmakers that we then in school that we then had the theater to debut the films that were being made. But I feel like we should have a film festival of some kind on a regular here.
There was one a long time ago, the San Juan Film Festival.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I had my.
I know that the mountain film would come down here every once in a while.
Yeah, the first film festival I ever went to was here. It was just one night, San Juan Film Festival. I think it was at the Pavilion.
Oh, really?
I remember driving by there 2 years ago, and I was like, I have a memory of this place, but I don't remember why. And it was because it was there. But it's not here anymore. But I think that'd be great.
Yeah, we need to bring it. We need to bring it back.
Okay, we do.
Right. 2 questions from me before we wrap up. So, do you have anything?
Nope.
Okay. First question. You're a photographer as well.
That's right. Yeah.
So, which is your bigger passion, still or video?
Video.
Video.
Yeah, I think the impact, the potential impact you can have on someone, I think is greater with video.
I think sometimes the reason why people or there's so much attention to photography is that it's up to the person to interpret what's in the image, versus video. It feels like you're telling me the story. So I think, I guess my question there is, do you like it more because you are getting to tell the message versus somebody interpreting what your message is?
I do think in video you can do either. There's, verite filmmaking is powerful because it doesn't tell you what to think. It just shows you something. And it's hard to get people to watch verite. There's a film called Fire at Sea, which is about the migrant crisis crossing the Mediterranean into Italy. Just verite, just showing you what it looks like. And I found it extremely powerful because no one's telling you what to think. And so I think you can do that with film, but it takes more time. It's harder to get people to watch it. Another one is just, there's so many photographers that I think it's just harder to make money in that space as well. But I mean, good photographers they just do amazing work, and it is impactful. But I just find that I can provide more value and stand out more with video just because it is a lot more complicated and just kind of time consuming.
Yeah.
And then my last question is, burling or log rolling?
What is burling?
So it's log rolling.
It's log rolling.
Oh.
And this is something you've tried, right? In addition to river surfing? Or was it just a photography of you were there when people were doing it?
This is something he's found on your Facebook page.
The reason why I'm asking is because I want to know, have you ever tried it?
I've tried informal in Lake Chelan. There's a wonderful log that's tied down. It's tied down, but
how long were you able to stay on?
It was different though, because it's like this. It wasn't a standard size log, so it doesn't just keep going and going and going faster. It kind of comes back, so it's different.
I would love to see you.
Well, I was saying, I feel like I was thinking we should have a burling contest.
You would not. Your center of mass is way screwed up for you to be any good at that.
Well, we already. By the way, last night I sent Rob a text message and said we have a concept for a promotion for the Flex Rack. So we might need a filmmaker or at least somebody to video it, because the two of us. Have you ever seen don't tell people.
No, maybe
we'll talk about it off camera. We'll tell you what it is.
Yeah.
There's a couple lakes here where we could get a log. We should do that. Advocate for a log.
Definitely a pound.
We have a Burling festival.
All right. Sounds good. We know a beer sponsor. We could figure that out. All right. Well, Greg, I appreciate you coming and being on the show. Thanks for taking the time to tell us about some of these amazing films that you have. Go check them out. Particularly, we didn't get to talk much about it, but go check out the Wild Bunch, right? Wild Bunch.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a cycling video about recreating the route that Butch Cassidy did. Did I get that right?
Yep. When he robbed the Telluride, San Miguel Bank.
Right.
So it's a very cool short film as well.
Your website is cairsfilm.com, right?
Yep, that's right.
CAIRNS, cairsfilm.com. The portfolio's there and you can watch, half a dozen more videos, more. So,
well, Greg, we hope we keep you around here for a long time, and hopefully we can find some things to do together. That sounds like it would be a lot of fun. Is there normally we give people a chance to shout out. You already talked about Spoon. We got to get Spoon on. But is there a favorite in Montrose that you'd like to share with somebody, or is there somebody that else besides Spoon that you'd like to call out and come be in the seat?
Ooh, I just think Spoon's the right person for the job.
He sounds like the right person.
Yeah.
Right on. All right, everybody. Well, that's been another episode of WKRP. Make sure you go check out all of Greg's films online. Watch the full Where Dem Duckies At. I'm just telling you. It'll be a good time.
We'll put the links in the description.
We'll put the link below. All right, everybody. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.